G'day folks, in this video more painting, lots of parts to paint. I'm going to put the spats on the aircraft, get those fitted, hope to get the fin complete. I might even put some stickers on that and just push on basically with the paint. It's not holding me up, I'm starting to enjoy it, things are working out, I've got my processes in place, but don't underestimate the time it's going to take you to paint an aircraft. A lot of parts there and a lot of preparation. Prep, and the actual spray paint is relatively easy. So watch along, hope you get a few tips out of this one. Thanks for watching, enjoy this. Alright, just lining up the nose spat with using my laser to get it nice and square or level. Way to go. Alright, nose struts on. Now just playing with my ducks, get my ducks in a row. I've just slitted these so that I can now just form the shape of the intake with these fingers. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. And then worry about fixing it up later. So we'll shape these up. Alright, finishing up for the night. Big day. Put the cowl on. Preliminary sand, or initial sand I guess, with like a real rough file, my permagrit files. Bit of ingenuity going on here with my ram ducks. What I did is I slit the ducks. I got some 16th balsa, soaked it in water, or Windex, got ammonia in it, and it helps it flex a bit. And I sort of wasn't sure how to go with this, but I decided just make it work. So slit the ducks. As you can see, I've just epoxied some balsa wood in there. It's really good working. This is where the aero modelling skills transfer, I guess. Balsa and cyano or super glue, and it sort of gets the job done. Then I've just reinforced with some epoxy, so when I pull it off, the ducks should retain that shape. For those who don't know, I then put a rubber set of lips, I guess, around the intake ducts on the inside, which will then seal against the cowl, so you get a perfect intake. So when I'll take the air ducts out and obviously wrap the outside with fiberglass mat, epoxy resin on the epoxy air ducts. They might even be Kevlar, I think. Wrap those up and I'll worry about the inside later. Get a layer on the outside or two, make it nice and tough, and then come back, smooth the inside, break all the sticks out. Looking good. And my baby's got some wheel spats. So the nose is complete. The mains, I've just, for those familiar with these as well, I've got the top axe section screwed to the axle and this plate. A lot of people said it doesn't work, but it tucks in there nicely. Looks a little bit agricultural, I guess. Bear in mind, I haven't got a great deal of weight in the aircraft. I need to tomorrow when I fit these, I will probably run some tape on the ground to get the spat fore and aft in line with the main gear. But also the main gear is actually, it's sitting like that at the moment because there's not a great deal of weight and a couple of bad landings and probably straighten the wheels up. So I'll probably cant the spat, just roll that over a bit. So it's, anyway, parallel with the wheel. I think my test pilot wants the spats off for the test flight, because they do have a fair influence on the trim of the aircraft. Knacker duct. So a bit of a sanding session tomorrow. Fill, sand, prime, fill, sand, prime. But we're looking good. Bits on the floor, some doors, elevator, wing struts. So we've got parts everywhere now. In my tent, no painting today, but really happy. Second go, my rudder and fin They're nice and glossy and shiny and smooth. So get an extra 5 knots out of the aircraft now. Alright, so just some fiberglass work. As you can see, I cut fingers in the front of these, opened them up, glassed the outside, and just got my what do you call it, peel ply on the outside. Because it's so cold, still a bit green I think. It's the next day. Might whack these in the tent with the heater going, just while I'm out here today. Got the top cowl off. Just laid some light filler in all the little spots, including on my door. Once again, a little bit soft, but should be good. So the plan today, I'm going to put some stickers on the tail, some decals or vinyl, whatever you want to call it, just to make me feel good. Okay, bit of fun. Put some stickers on, or vinyl. Got my Southern Cross. Had to make some subtle changes just to miss the rivets, etc. And got it vertical as opposed to the fins canted back a bit. And my insignia stripes, I researched it. Reds at the front on both sides. Have a look around the other side. The tail flash and Southern Cross with the A&F behind it. Looking good. Really cool to be able to do some of these jobs. You know, some of the stuff we do, I guess, is not very flamboyant, but just to break it up a bit. Spent probably best part of an hour, I suppose, 2 hours, marking out my Southern Cross and the tail flash. So looking fantastic. So what do we say? Don't sweat the small stuff. The more I look at this, depends how you, also if the rudder's been deflected at all, it changes perspective. Just made myself a coffee and you look at different angles, things start to play on your mind. But I know it's dead set square to the ground. I even pumped up correct pressures in my tyres to get the aircraft sitting the way it's going to sit. The engine's in there, so it shouldn't change too much. So everything's vertical. But as you walk around, like that red stripe curls around the front just because the fin's curved. So anyway, I know it's all as good as I can do. 800 hours, and that's where we're up to. I've just stripped back this poor old panel. It ended up having about 5 coats of paint on it, I guess, because that was my sacrificial bit in the sense that it just kept getting tested and repainted. It ended up perfect with orange on it. However, I'm going to keep it simple. I'll do the bottom of the fuselage will be white. My orange trim will just go just around the corner. And I didn't want an orange panel because if I fly over, people will probably tell me all the time it looks like I'm missing a panel. Well, the panel's not fitted. Got my spinner prepped. I think this will be quite a challenge to paint actually a spinner, because from what I'm learning with my 6.2 hours paint experience now, you know, if you paint up, you're going to end up with 10 layers of paint at the top. Yeah, with all the bits of the cake coming around, if you like, as you spray up. So I'm not sure how. That's all part of the priming process anyway. So that one's ready to bake. I've just sanded and gooped up the top cowl, which is in my thing at the moment, in my tent, just getting warm. Same as the plenum chambers, they're getting warm as well. I fiberglassed them yesterday because of the low temperatures. Yeah, needed to warm them up a bit. And I think I just fogged the camera up again, sorry guys. But can move on to some fun jobs. I'm not saying it's fun, but I can final sand the cowl and get some primer on that. Take the spats back off. I just like having them on at the moment, give me a sense of you know, nearing completion. And I can fit door handles, like the inside latch. I'm not going to fit the perspex just yet to the doors. I can rig up the elevator trim, which is a little servo that goes in the elevator itself, and do travel checks on the trim tab. So some, yeah, little fun jobs. My plan with the doors, once the fuselage is painted, I think I'll hang the door frame and then rivet the glass on with the door locked, just so it takes any out of out of the equation. So I think I'll, rather than rivet them on the bench with a 30mm block under it as the plans, we'll do it that way. Sorry about the fog. Just getting into some fun jobs, just playing with the door handles. I pulled those out, realised they were grey, and this little thing at the front here, the little latch, the forward latch, wasn't primed or painted, so whacked him in the tent just with I've etch primed that and rattle can, and I decided to paint, had the handle anodised, sorry, not anodised, powder coated grey. I'm just going to paint the interior bit, like the handle. I was going to go red, but aircraft's orange and white, so we'll paint it orange, and that's what I had in the cupboard. This piece here is just, I try and do everything on a practice piece, so I've laid the stickers, the decals, so did a practice piece, intentionally put bubbles in it and tried to get them out. The best way is spray with some soapy water or spray and wipe, then the sticker will actually skid around and slide, then squeegee it out, and you are good to go. So those who think it's a bit ex-RAFI, Royal Australian Air Force, I even used my old ID to scrape the stickers on. Alright guys, so we're about just a little bit over 800 hours in to the build. So thanks to those subscribers that have just jumped on board. Hopefully I can help out, with some hints and tips along the way. This is how I built my cruiser. For those who don't know, basically in Melbourne, Australia. So 800 hours, I've worked out, I was driving out this morning, there's something like 52, believe it or not, 52 parts that I have to paint. You look at, I've got the door frames here, so you've got the door frames, they've got 4 boomerangs, I call them, in the corner, a spinner, the hell hole, 4 bits of spat, 2 being the nose, fuselage, the wings, tail, rudder, dorsal fin, stab, elevator trim cover. What else we got? 4 of the counterweights, all the trim around the doors, windscreen trims, top and bottom cowl. Believe me, I counted them up, there's about 52 parts. The access panels there's 4 of those for the wings. What else have we got? There must be more. 4 flaperons, things like that. So there's over 50 parts to be painted. So my advice, if you're going to paint, don't take that decision lightly. It's a big job. Anyway, I'm getting through it. Really happy with the way my fin turned out, Southern Cross, and the tail flash there, or the fin flash, which designates, I believe, the British Empire aircraft of previous wars. So, yeah, about to pull off. I like having the aircraft together, it gives you that feeling of achievement, hence clecoing the fin back on. About to pull the spats off, the cowl, rub those back, and then have a priming session, get everything primed, start putting the final coat on those parts. Once that's done, the big girl's going into the tent. I might have to, I know I have to do some surgery. I went and bought some dollies to sit the main undercarriage on so I can push the aircraft sideways and around instead of doing a 15-point turn into the tent. I'll cut the wall out of the tent, put the fuselage in. I plan to do the fuselage first. My thoughts there are I can get it out and there's a lot of work I can do, put the stab on and the rudder and everything, run cables, etc., while I'm painting the wings. That way I can spray. I sort of plan to spray the wing and leave it for a week, let it fully cure, and then muck around with trim or whatever I need to do, or pull it out. So there's a couple of weeks just to paint the wings. The actual paint session itself is only probably an hour, I guess, to paint it. But it's all the prep and that sort of stuff that I'm learning as we go. So yeah, 800 hours into the build, really enjoying it. Engine's hooked up, ready to run basically once I get a fuel tank some fuel to the header tank. Whack a prop on it. Avionics is good. Interior, got to chase up my seats once again, although once it's painted I'll really put my foot down then. My embroidery bloke, upholstery bloke, sort of tells me that it's ready, but see how we go on that one. What else can I tell you? Having a great time, really enjoying it. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's great to get some colour on the aeroplane. Feel like some progress there. Thanks for watching.